Hey, family, thank you for tuning into Our Roots podcast with Joseph Babaifa. We're only the strongest roots. See the light, brought to you by Botanica Candles and More. And if you haven't had the opportunity, hit that subscribe button. Celebrating today with this live 100,000 plus subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it, man.
We did it, brother. Yes, we did, man. It's a great accomplishment. Still can't believe it. That's a lot of people, man.
I know. This has been an incredible achievement. I'm so happy for you.
Absolutely.
So happy for everybody.
Happy for us, yeah, man. It's nice to see this many people are still interested in Ifa in the most coherent way, in the most sound way. And just to think of what's to come, just to get here. And then, now it's like anything that comes is a blessing, even more so because, it just lets you know what you can accomplish. So.
Yeah, and let's people are trickling in, so
Nice.
just like any other live show, make sure you hold on. What am I saying? Hold on. I can't see. Here you go. Smash the like button.
There we go.
I'm trying to read my things here. Okay. All right, folks. Also, make sure if you haven't yet to join our membership program.
Yep.
We were already live earlier today with our members, and we had a turned up
Great live.
great live. A lot of questions
Sure.
were asked. Now, with that said, today, we are live for everybody, and that does mean that our super chats are open and welcome. And so, what that means is when a lot of questions will start to trickle in, and sometimes we get a little bit backed up. So, if you would like your question answered as soon as possible, super chats are awesome. So,
Yeah,
make sure you guys say hey, say where you're watching from.
definitely.
And if you have any thoughts about us reaching 100,000 subscribers, let us know.
Definitely. Yeah. Mentioning the super chats, that's really wild. You told me we were like 45 minutes backed up in the roll.
Yeah, the
In
last
the
show.
last, what was that, like 2 weeks ago we did that?
Yeah, because a question may get asked, and then boom, you'll go 5 minutes on it, and
Yeah.
then because the questions don't stop.
No, and then the clock is ticking. So it's like, okay, this response took this much time. Now it's time to jump to the front of the line. So I love it when we go live like this. I really do because, we love our members, but just giving everybody the opportunity to see what the membership program's like, where it's just direct interactions, question, answer, complete instant gratification.
Before we even continue, I gotta do this.
Oh, man.
So Juju Ogunda Yakun,
All the way up.
he
Yeah.
gifted 5.
Oh, my gosh.
memberships.
Balling. Appreciate you, my
So
brother.
thank you.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Okay. All right. So let's say hi to the people in the chat. We got Jose Pacheco just
Hey.
became a member.
Thank you, Jose.
All right. Trinity saying a happy 100,000.
Thank you, my godson.
All right. Jay Palacio, Aburo Boye.
Aburu aboye.
All right. I can't pronounce that.
Ifasakin shagoye mi elegunde osanyi bola. Obuato. I had to drop it on you right there, Phil.
Boom.
Yeah, there you go. That's straight Yoruba. Yeah, that's a great name.
All right. We got.
Isedi bendiciones. Thank you.
All right. We got boom boom.
Oh man, Hall of Fame, Hemp Lord.
All right. So before we even continue,
Yep.
I'm gonna do one of the rare occasions.
Okay.
I'm gonna show my face.
Oh man, today is epic.
Yeah. So for those of you who have been following the show for quite a while, I don't really show my face here.
A mystery man.
Yeah, I'm kind of just a mystery guy. But I think
Yeah.
today's a special occasion because let me put myself on camera here. So now Joseph cannot see me.
No, I can't.
He cannot see me. I am behind the wall. So I'm putting myself on camera here. Hi, everybody. Obviously, he can hear me because he's in the room. But you guys see this? It's just that, right? You only see that. I have a very special present for Joseph, which I'm going to give it to him in just a moment. But I want you all to experience this with me. So what I'm actually going to do is one of going to be the first things I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to walk over to him and I'm going to hand him this present. So
Oh my God.
you guys ready? You guys ready to go on a trip with me? So obviously I'm going to take my headset off, my microphone on. So Joseph is going to have to provide commentary. So just hang on, guys.
I got you. Yeah, Phil's removing the headphones right now. What Phil isn't ready for is I got a gift for him.
What?
And we're going to do Secret Santa, our root style. You guys are seeing the inner workings of the lair right now. We got a plastic wrapper there. Oh my gosh, we're coming around the corner. Look at that beautiful sight. Oh my gosh. exciting stuff. Is it a portrait? Here you are, my brother. Thank you very much.
There you go.
There you go. A little
Okay,
exchange
give
right
me-
there. Oh, man. I have no idea what it is.
Okay, I'm gonna walk back.
My man.
Hey, hang on. Don't open it yet.
I'm happy with just the case, man. That thing's fire.
Don't open it yet. La da da. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay.
Behind the scenes real quick.
All right, you're back on camera.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. Hold up. I'm plugging myself back in.
Looks like a very nice book, possibly.
All right, let me put my headset back on. All right. All right, you guys still there? You guys still with us? Okay. All right, I'm back on camera here.
My man.
All right, so I should actually do this. You open yours first. Because,
All right. All right.
All right, hold on. Before I go to you here. All right, guys. Let's say hey in the chat. You know, people are saying be blessed.
Blessings. Thank you.
Hello again.
Boru.
All right. Trinity has a question already. Trinity, just hang on.
Awesome.
All right. All right, Joseph. You have that that package.
You ready for me?
You are good to go. Go ahead and explain or open what you got there.
All right. Oh, man. That's nice.
Oh, we can't see it. We can't see it.
I'm going. I'm going.
Go.
Here we go.
There it is.
The button.
It's mirrored, so you can't even see what it says.
Yeah.
but it says to Joseph Baba Ifa
For passing 100,000
for
subscribers.
passing 100,000 subscribers, man.
I think this is the best looking mirror I've ever looked into to look at myself, man. This is
Yeah.
so much. It's crazy because you see other people with it. You don't realize how heavy this thing is.
I know.
You know
It
what I'm
really
saying?
is pretty heavy.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
so show it to the camera one more time.
absolutely. Here we go, guys. This is ours. This is all y'all's, man.
Yep.
Thank you.
There we go.
I'm gonna sleep with this thing. I'm gonna ask for Erica's permission, and I'm gonna put it right next to the bed. It's for you, honey. What's up to my kids, by the way? How you doing, Loli, Ali, Bobby? What's going on? You see, Daddy got the button. It's
Yeah.
cute.
Hard work, man. Hard
Shout
work
out to
pays
my
off.
wife. Shout out to everybody that handles your family as well. And you know, it really is just it's incredible what an object could represent because you think of all the time and people that help you get there. You know,
Yeah.
shout out to Orula. You know,
Yeah. So people are just now seeing it now. 'Cause, you know, we're a minute behind.
I'm gonna put her where she goes.
There you go.
We good? Oh man, that's my bodyguard.
All right, and also the wide view for those trying to see what's that gold. We got some balloons.
Hey, we got some balloons. Shout out to Wifey. You know, Party City.
Yeah.
See, there's zeros. There's some zeros over here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave these here, Phil.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave these here. I don't have any more room in this house. I got too many kids, but you know they look good right here.
Okay.
The big hundo.
All
you
right.
know?
Okay.
But shout out to my wife for making it such a special moment. To you, honey. And if you notice, we're getting a little sauced. Shout out to my wife. She got me a very exclusive bottle. If you've heard about it, Blanton's. I'm usually a cognac guy, but this is a single barrel bourbon. So it's really amazing. So Phil's got some over there, and
Already drink it.
as we you did, jeez. In true Sicilian fashion, Cent'anni, which means 100 years.
Cheers. All right. Now while he's drinking that, I have to open mine.
Oh, that's fabulous.
All
Oh yeah,
right.
you have a gift.
Joseph got me a gift too.
Jeez. Now I want to actually. Well, go ahead and open it, and then I'll give the backstory.
All right, hold on. Let me do the split screen so you can
Okay.
give some commentary too. Hold on. Boom, boom. All right. So here's both of us. Okay. All right. So Joseph bought this for me. I already can see what it says. So
Yeah.
I already kind of know what it is.
Yeah, but Belova makes a bunch of things. We have
Okay.
no idea.
Okay. All right. I'm going to open it up here. All right. Oh, wow. This box is very nice.
Just an empty box. That's all I got you was the box.
Just
Very
an
nice
empty
box.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Oh, snap. This is a Latin Grammy special edition Belova watch.
Yeah, man. When I saw that thing, I said, "This'll look nice."
Look at that.
Yeah.
Guys, look at that.
And being that it's the Latin Grammy edition, you get 15% off of any bodega worldwide. You can get empanadas, rice and beans, pollo guisado, everything. You get discounted everything.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
man. I
and
love you, brother.
And the
man.
back, I love you too, my guy. And what happened was, guys, is I remember one day because we go to the food court here, we talk, try to get a little air before episodes, and Phil was like, you know what, man, you should give me a watch when we get to 100K.
I said that casually.
I said, yeah, I was like, yeah, sure, Phil. And I remember I spoke to E about it recently, and I was like, yo, we're at 100K. I need to get Phil a watch. And there's a couple jewelers here and stuff like that. I did some comparables when I saw that one, man, because I only buy people stuff that I would like to wear. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wouldn't wear it, I won't buy it for you. You know what I'm saying? It has to be that, that nice, because some people buy you things, be like, you got me the shirt from Gap that you'll never wear, but you got it for me.
You got me a Hot Topic
You
shirt.
know what I'm saying? You got me something from Rainbow. And I don't gift nothing unless I rock it. So it's taken the same way, the button is here, the watch is there. It's a beautiful moment for sure.
Well, thank you so much, man.
My man.
And people are screaming in the chat, so
Yeah.
they asked if I had Shango on my hat. No, that's just my my logo for my business there.
Yeah, and it's the same colorway as the watch. That's why it was so key. But yeah, we don't really know. Phil might be a Holo Orisha just in human form. So we're just happy to be around.
Yeah. So Anna says, hey.
Baru, thank you.
All right.
Student of Ayobe, that's a great name. Yeah, shout out.
Yeah. How do you get the name just Elizabeth? Like, that's not taken on
I don't
YouTube?
know. That's difficult. You got to pay. Like, that's like a license plate type thing. You got to pay for it.
Right. All right. Richie.
Thank you, Rich.
Jennifer.
Blessings. Thank you, Mihala.
All right.
Thank you. Blessings.
Okay. We're going to go through all of these. So.
Thank you very much, Chris. Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yep.
Very nice. Qwerty. Okay. Boru. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mel.
All right.
Yeshua. Thank you. No, the pleasure's all mine. It's been very enjoyable. Hemp Lord. Yeah.
I think it's about the time you opened the thing here. So this is
Yeah.
about the time you opened it. So you got.
Greetings from Kayla. It's crazy seeing that number.
I know.
Blessings, Queen. Not the bed, though. Wifey wouldn't have let it happen. This is not happening. Salud.
Oh, people see me for the first time, I guess.
Phil. Put a face to the. If the podcast doctor wouldn't have worked, you could have been the podcast phantom.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Because no one's seen you before.
That's so funny.
Boru.
All right. Oh, and guess what?
What's good? Already?
This is another one that we got 5 members.
Oh,
gifted.
Mike Antonio. Blessings, Bobby.
Wow, thank you.
It's wild over here, man.
Wow.
10 memberships off the strength.
Yeah. Okay, so I got to go all the way back up to Trinity's.
Yeah, right. The poor thing. He's
Question.
like, yeah, that's nice. Watching button. Let me get my question now, please.
Yeah. So guys, also remember this is an open Q&A. So you have the floor. The floor is open. We just wanted to give the first few minutes a happy celebration
Absolutely.
of the accomplishments of the channel. So you can go ahead and ask your questions below, and we will try to answer them in the order that they are received. If your
Nice.
question hasn't gotten answered, membership chats are open. Super chats are open. So, all right, here we go. First question from Trinity.
$2 from Trinity. Thank you. What Odoo challenges expands your mind the most? Oh my gosh. Ayobe. Ayobe and my own. I would have to say even more so my own. Because I remember the first time I read it was 9 years ago. And every time I read it, I realized something new, even over things that I had already read. So, the thing about studying your own sign, the hardest thing is speaking your own sign because you know so much about it, you don't know where to begin. And I usually find myself in that conundrum with Ayobe. But the way I've always been able to mitigate that is by starting simple. Starting with the simple patakis, try not to be too complicated. Because Ochetura says Ifa is so simple that, we overcomplicate it, and through that, we actually make it complicated. So I would say my own, ultimately. That's probably the one that racks my brain the most. But after that, Ayobe, just to be able to give a dual-sided answer.
Okay.
Great question.
Phil should get his hand if he file.
You never know. Phil might have it. Phil might have Ifa done. He's just a private guy,
All right, here we go.
Mr. Jose, hey, brother, I'm Omo Dua Iwori Gosung. Should I crown Obadala and do Ifa? No. Please do not crown Obadala. You are a son of Odudua. Receive Odudua. If you're not going to go Isheshe and actually crown Odudua direct, receive Odudua and wash Obadala or Ishanla, which is Obadala at the end of the day. So receive Odudua, wash Obadala. Make sure in the washing they give you Shango and Elegua, obviously. So at bare minimum, those 3 itas. and then you'll have enough to do Ifa. I also recommend a gungung if your house gives it. And then with that, you're ready to go. But please don't crown Obatala. All I ask you. Because there's really nothing to substantiate that. What happens is in my Odu of Irete Odura was where there's various patakis. And one of them, I'll go in this one because it explains why Obatala and Odua have that harmony even though they were enemies, right? And Odua was a king in Irete Suka. And he was falsely accused of something that he was executed for, right?
Oof.
When they executed him, they cut him into 16 pieces and buried him in 16 different lands of Yoruba land. But after they did this, epidemic, famine, like hellfire descended upon Yoruba land. Divination was performed. Irete Otura basically explained that this was because of the criminal aspect or the unjust act of executing their king. And they needed to make sacrifice to the Orishanla, or Oshanla, the feminine aspect of Obatala. And when they did that, she had explained to them that she had had dreams of where they had buried him because it had been so long that they forgot. And one by one, she got all of his body parts together and resurrected him. And when he came back, he forgave them, to a certain degree. He never trusted them again. And he said, "You'll be the mother of my children because you're the only one that believed I was innocent." So that's why Irete Suka says the mother of all the children of Odudua is Oshanla. Now, mind you, that's within parentheses, what are these, quotations, because, there's a story in Ofumeji where Odudua married Oshun and had a daughter named Oloshe. So Odua did have, children with other women. It wasn't just Oshanla. But the most important thing is that you don't crown Obatala, really. So if any thought comes out, you're a son of Odua with, I don't know, Oshun or Yemaya. Odua had children with everybody, all the women. So, but it says that overall, regardless of anything, Oshanla protects the children of Odudua for this same reason. So, my opinion, receive Odudua of Ifa or in conjunction, because the real way is between Olorisha and Babalawo together. Wash Obatala with Eleguan Shango, and then at that point, if you need to, receive a gungung, and then at that point, you're off to the races. You're ready to do Ifa. Iwori Gosung has no issues there. You just have to be really, really situated with a gungung, and you'll be all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Be careful with water retention, and Iwori Gosung was where Odudua retained water. So.
You mean like swelling and stuff?
Yeah, like heart failure, like congestion. You have to be very careful with that, and that Odu. It's hydropsy, I think it's called, hydropesia.
Okay. While you're taking a sip of that, that plaque looks amazing behind you, by the way.
I mean, it looked pretty much amazing anywhere, but I'm just happy it's next to me.
Yeah, that looks so cool.
Yeah, that thing, especially because it's blurred out in the back. It's like I'm here, but I'm not here. So that's what's up, man.
All right. So, okay. From Adrian, happy accomplishments from Barbados.
Shout out to Barbados. Thank you so much.
Yeah, music lover. Congratulations.
Baru, thank you.
Elog gave some.
Very nice. Some good emojis there. The palm tree. Ope.
All right. Get another question here from the name I cannot pronounce.
Let's go. Baba, when you talk about the Odus, is it coming from Lukumi or is it Isheshe? It might be a mishmash, to be honest with you. I don't really have that frustration. Like, I remember one time I went to an Isheshe Ifa, and I was spitting Lukumi Patakis, and one of the brothers there was kind of looking at me sideways, and he kind of whispered something to another and basically made it back to me like, hey, let's keep it Isheshe here. But I was really good friends with the guy who was directing and who was birthing, and they made it known that at the end of the day, Ifa is Ifa. So I was allowed to speak whatever I wanted because my reputation is what it is. And I've always opened the floor to Isheshe brothers in Ita. So if they want to spit an Isheshe verse there, I don't stop it because Ifa is Ifa. Anybody that's willing to interrupt a Babalawo speaking or try to modify what he's saying, that's taboo. So it depends. Like the story I just said right now, completely Lukumi. Ultimately, it's all Africa. But I pull from both because that's the big reason why I started studying Isheshe as well, because I realized there's a lot of great information over there. The same way a lot of traditional brothers now are like, you guys have great information. That's why this whole war, this feud, whatever you want to call it, over money and ego needs to stop. But, only time will tell. Oh, man, here we go. All
from
right.
Bob Esponja.
Bob Esponja. That's another. You guys are killing the names. Hello, any wisdom for Noni Shango with Osameji and Ita? Thank you. If we're talking about Ifa, Orumila, absolutely. So many things for Shango were born there. I know the Oluko Solalu verses there where Shango picked up the 200 stones and threw it to overcome his enemies. And that sign was where the Oshe Shango, or his axe, manifested. It's the Ifa of the eagle, when an eagle first came into trance and was initiated into Orisha. And that sign was where the horns of Oge transferred from Oya to Ogun to ultimately being the property of Shango. In that sign, Shango almost died from stomach ulcers and stomach cancer because he would consume far too much grease. So, it says that the person can't eat heavily condimented foods. It's where Shango started consuming red palm oil. Shango, and Osameji. But the person has to identify what they want to do. They definitely have to initiate into Orisha. Then at that point, they can kind of determine if they have the characteristics, if they want to be Babalawo, Oriade, or they just want to be Olorisha, practically or non-practically. Oh, man. Let me take a sip.
Okay.
My guardian angels Obadala. Why you cannot smoke cigar or wine? Do not follow the proto. I'm sorry. There's the. It's in the way. The hand. The for the mouse.
Oh, my bad.
Do not follow the proto in my experience. Here's the thing. In the Odu Obotura Bara was where smoke bothered Obadala, but it was smoke in general. But it was really marijuana smoke that he wasn't a fan of. As far as the drinking, Obadala drank. The only thing he couldn't drink was the palm wine. I don't make a habit of smoking. I'm a fan of cigars. I don't make a habit of smoking in front of him. But in the times that the smoke is wafted that way, it hasn't been a severe issue either. Where you can absolutely not smoke, none of that is in any of the rooms of initiation. Wherever there's a white curtain, there can't be none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't blow smoke on Obadala either.
Sorry, I took a bite.
No, enjoy.
We got another one.
All right. Boomski. All right, Shannon, can you talk about the sign Oshedi in regards to the son of Elegua? The Odu of Oshedi says, prepare yourself for war. In that Odu, 3 blessings were given to the village. One of them was weapons. The first one was money. The second one was clothing and jewelry. And the third one was weapons. People came out the first 2 days, but the last day they didn't come out, and Oshun picked up all the weapons. Ogun was coming to wage war on that village. I think it was Oshobo. And they were like, well, let's go see the Bawalao. When they did, Ifa said they needed to perform sacrifice with money, clothing, and jewelry to be able to survive the war, and they had to do it with Oshun. So when they went to see Oshun, they saw Oshun had a whole artillery, and they were like, we need weapons. And Oshun was going to give it to them out of the goodness of their heart, but Elegua was like, hey, if you want to defend yourselves, you have to pay. So give us all the money and resources, and you can guys have as much weapons as you want. And Oshun still stayed with weapons. So that's why it says, Armese para la guerra, en Oshedi. So if we're talking about Elegua there, and that sign, Elegua was a broker. Have you ever seen the movie Lord of War?
With Nicolas Cage.
Exactly. That was Elegua in this sign. He was a broker. So he said, you have war, you have enemies, you need weapons. This is how we're going to make it happen. So that Odu says that the child of Elegua is meant to be involved in commerce somehow. And also that Elegua is trying to protect the person from being manipulated. Because in that sign, they would play with Oshun's emotions to cause her to give away things that could have benefited her to them. And Elegua didn't want that for the person. So Ifa says you can't be so good and give away your blessings because they're meant for you and for you to capitalize on. But if you give away all your blessings, you're never going to be blessed. That Odu says that the person should be armed somehow, security system, etc. And take whatever they give you.
Sorry.
Take whatever's given to you. Don't be too proud to take a gift because you don't know if that gift can save your life soon.
All right, here we go. This is from Trinity.
Are there other standalone income streams as a Babalawo besides consultations, working initiations, ceremonies, ebos?
That's it.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
it, yeah.
Ultimately, Ifa is a license. So however you choose to utilize it, completely up to you. I know brothers in Miami that live just off of powder. Like, they make powders for everything. Like, okay, you want to find somebody that, you're going to love? Here's a powder. This powder. Like, all they do is sell spiritual powder. I got other guys that I know, all they do is gagas. Like, all they do is mount deities for other brothers. You have someone such as myself, an Oba, who directs. It's not my only income source, but that's pretty much what I'm, contracted to do. But anything in between, you got brothers that just drum. And then, if you want to get into more of the more modern aspects, I guess a YouTube channel, that could help. And then anything else, however you want to manifest your spirituality. Some brothers paint. I mean, it really comes down to what do you enjoy and how can you apply your Ifa license to it.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Redemption Flute. Very nice. Iboru Boya, please tell me about having Osaika for Hand of Ifa for a child of Ogun. Thank you. Osaka has a very sad story. And that Odu was where the clown's mother became sick. He went to visit Orumila, and Orumila told him that his mother was going to pass away and he needed to prepare for the pain. The clown didn't really know how to deal with pain because he was always laughing. The day his mother died, though, he went into a manic episode, deep depression, and he decided he was going to get a tattoo. And he tattooed a teardrop under his eye.
Oh.
And that was in commemoration of his mother. So the Odu Osaka is where it's the Odu of the circus, the clown, but it's actually where the teardrop tattoo first manifested. Like, it was actually a commemoration of the clown for his mom. So if you've ever seen the theatrical mass of one laughing and one crying, that was also born in that Odu. If you've ever seen a couple prison movies where you see the guy with the teardrops under his eye, that was born in Osaka, and we all know what that represents. So as far as a son of Ogun, if Ogun's metal, the tattoo was made with a needle. So in that Odu, Ifa says we have to cherish our mother, the women in our lives. We have to prepare for pain because life is mostly characterized by pain with very short moments of happiness in between that form memories that keep us going and hopeful. Ifa says, ideally the person should get a tattoo therapeutically, that it's going to represent something that's going to help heal the person. There's other connotations there that refer to initiation that I can't say here. But ultimately, Osaka has to decide what they're going to do. Are you going to move forward? Are you good with your Hand of Ifa? Etc. But the son of Ogun there can pretty much do whatever he wants based on his characteristics and lifestyle choices.
Okay. All right, here we go from Gabriel.
Yay, bendiciones. What advice do you give to someone getting ready for their yaoraje? Start your yaoraje right now. I'm not saying dress in white, but stop going out. Start, every, once a week, sit on the floor. Start getting used to it. It's kind of like with a diet or working out. You don't want to wait till January 1st to start. You want to start making those changes beforehand so it's a seamless transition. And I think a big thing is acceptance. Like, have everything ready. Like, when my children were on the way when their mother was pregnant, we got the house ready, the bottle warmer, the food processor, Pampers. Like, it's the same thing with the yaoraje because you're the baby we're bringing home. So make sure your home is ready for your orishas. And mentally start, meditating and accepting that you're going to be on house arrest for a year. Cheers to you.
Okay. All right. Cheers. Next question.
Yanda. Yemoja Bukumi. Will you ever do a video on Nana Buruku? I have. We have one on the channel. We haven't done a podcast on it because some of these deities, they don't have too much information on them. So for me to make a podcast, I have to delve even deeper and scrounge and see, where I can draw from because, we don't like to make things up here. So I'm sure we'll make a podcast for it at some point, but I'm still gathering more information on her. But we have the video on the channel, which I highly recommend. It's pretty inclusive.
Okay.
Andrew, Boru, do you have any insight on Otruponka? Absolutely. Amazing channel. I've learned so much from you. Thank you. It's interesting because Otruponka is the shadow of my sign, Irete Suka. I have a godson, love dearly. He's Otruponka. And I'll never forget, I was in Cuba recently when I went to receive Odu and Odudua. I was speaking to an elder brother from my lineage there, and we were talking, and he spoke to me about the concept of the Odu that is the shadow. So basically, it's when you take an Odu of Ifa and you completely flip the ones for zeros. And Irete Otura, when you flip it, becomes Otruponka or Otruponkonga. So I always thought that was interesting as well, just that connotation. But if the person wants to do Orisha, they should. They can do Ifa if they want, based on characteristics. But in that sign was where the Pilon was born, or the Montero, or Odo. And obviously, it's a focal point for Orisha initiation. Ultimately, the person has to decide, do you want to walk this path or not? If not, stop there. But if you do decide to take a next step, it may take you all the way. But it's also one of the residents of the Garden of Power. The 16 signs that when you flip it back and forth, it becomes its opposite sign. So if you flip Otrupon Ka upside down, it becomes Ikatrupon. So it's the same thing. And ironically, Idete Suka was in that garden as well. It was 16 Odus. So like Owori Odi, Odi Oro, Irosowani, Owanimosu, Ogunda Masao, Sakuleya, etc. So he was one of the 16 residents. So that's pretty cool. I was there too. So nice.
All right. Well, Ogun B, congrats on Hawaii.
My brother, Boruboy Wochiche.
All right. Hold on. Boom.
Where can I learn a Majuba? Which one? The Moyuba is usually taught to you by your elders in Orisha, being that they vary from point to point. You want to learn the one from your lineage. Now, all of the Moyubas have things in common, but ultimately the elders you're going to mention, the ancestors and whatnot, are dictated by your lineage. So your lineage within Orisha would be the one responsible to teach you that once you select one.
Okay. All right. It's from Ogun B.
Yeah, so is it important to get up at 4 a.m. to pray and speak with Orula and Olorun and Ofungirete? Well, it's important for all of us, to be frank with you. How many of us actually do it? I don't know. I'm usually up at 4 in the morning anyway because of my kids. But, I say Orula, hello to Orula when I can. But to be frank with you, there's times when I walk right out the door. We have a lot going on in this capitalist system, But as long as he sees you studying, as long as he sees you active within Ifa, you get a little bit of a pass, But for the brothers that really don't dedicate any time to Ifa, you really want to definitely say good morning at least. The act of saying good morning was actually in my Odu of Esekan Ola. So very important for all of us, how feasible is it? We're not in Nigeria or Cuba no more, so it's a little difficult.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. Boom.
Jose, any wisdom on the son of Yemaya with Ogunda Bede? Great sign, great combination, and that sign was where Oromila would have nightmares. And, his mother would hear him screaming from the other room, and his mother was Yemaya, and Yemaya would go into the room and rock him back and forth. So this act right here of, nurturing a baby was born there. So Ogunda Bede, depending on their characteristics, could do Ifa no problem. It can become Oriate no problem. They really have a green card or carte blanche, a green light or carte blanche on anything they want to accomplish within Ifa. So it's really up to them. But Yemaya there, I would definitely crown her for sure if I could, because in that sign it was Yemaya who would bring Orumila peace. And Ogunda Bede also speaks of the story where Yemaya saved her sons Ochosi and Erinle. So definitely build that relationship with her, and if you want to do Ifa, Orumila will be there, but Yemaya is your lady.
Okay. All right.
Rockin' Designer, how can I become a part of your Ile and develop my journey the correct way? Also, I'm behind bars right now. Is that a
handicap to my development?
It can be, to be frank with you. There's a lot of concepts out there. There's a lot of interpretations, and I've had very dear people to me that have been incarcerated. Now, if you look at the Odu of Okana Yekun, Oromila had to go into prison to find men to be able to do Ifatu. Now, mind you, to be able to actually manifest Ifa for them, he had to pull them out and take them through ceremony. Now, me personally, I don't give hand of Ifa at a distance. The person has to be physically there. Now, you have some, of our fellow practitioners that are doing heavy stints. Now, I know in Isheshe, they don't have that same concept. So it really is about finding a lineage that, can accommodate to your situation at the moment. Us personally, I don't do hand of Ifa at a distance. And it really breaks my heart because there's certain people that I haven't been able to assist the way I would have wanted to. But, based on my interpretation of Okana Yekun and Obeyono, where it says Ori has to be there for the seeds to touch, I haven't done that. What I would love to do is actually perform Ifa initiation within the penitentiary, And there's ways to do it without animals, etc., legitimately, so that all those brothers and sisters that want Ifa inside can receive it. So if anybody out there who's watching can facilitate that, me and my men, we're ready to go.
All right. Congrats.
Congrats, Baba. You deserve all the love and respect. Thank you. As do you.
All right. It's from Ogumbi.
Eso. And Ofumbile, the spirit of Allah Yegun Abora. Any information on that spirit? I know it's closely related to the concept of the immortality of the soul in that Odu. Through attending Egungun and through attending Ifa, you're attending it. It's kind of like my Odu. Like there's certain spiritualities that are present. Like in mine, it's Ifa Kanidashe. So, every Babalawo has a spirituality around them that kind of links them back to Ela. So just by attending Ifa and Egung and whatnot, maybe mentioning it while you're invoking those energies will be more than fine.
Okay. All right. Someone just asking, how much is it to get a Oshun crown?
How much is it to get Oshun crowned? It is as much as the person who's doing it for you is going to charge.
Okay.
But, it's a couple dollars. So when you kind of look at all that goes into the Afro-Cuban Lukumi Orisha process, none of them takes less than 5 four-legged animals. None of them is less than a week. And you have to consider is the drum being thrown. That's an expense that's $3,500 in itself. So a finite answer I can't give you. But, understand that, it's going to be the biggest spiritual investment you ever make in yourself.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Same person. But
Can you do an episode on gypsy spirits? Well, the thing about the gypsy spirits is, there's like a debate where are they from? Were they from India, Northern Africa, Southwestern Europe, Spain, etc.? And there's different types, You have the more classic tarot, apple cider, champagne ones. You have some that are a little more rustic because they're kind of infused. Forgive me. Basically, to do a video on that, I can give like basic guidelines and constructs, but ultimately a spiritual mass or consultation is going to be necessary because your gypsy might not be anything like the others. So where, my wife's might be a yellow themed situation, sunflowers, Oshun-esque, yours might have to do with Oya. So there's kind of guidelines, but they really fluctuate within them where one might drink champagne, the other one might like beer.
okay. All right. Melissa Campbell, fashionably late, but hey, welcome to the party.
That's usually how we are. Yeah, absolutely. Boru, thank you, Melissa.
All right, here we go.
Power, can you talk more on Misa and its importance in the practice? Within Isheshe, it's non-existent. I know that some of them over there are starting to recommend it once more. Again, Misas they're pretty important. Do we need them for Ifa to function? No. But it does make things a lot easier because Ifa was around before the spiritual mass. But it is a much more direct way of communicating with them rather than simply through Egungun worship or trance influence, right? So I think Misas are very important, especially in this New World system. And the benefits can't be overstated, like it works. So it really is down to the person and what they're comfortable with, but I couldn't imagine a life without them. And to a certain degree, the Misa exists over there in Africa within Isheshe. It's not the same. Like, they're not sitting at a white table. They might not be saying the Our Father, but, there'll be a recipient of water. Somebody's coming into trance and speaking. So, I mean, it's there. It's just it doesn't look as European. So none of that matters as long as the essence is the same, but very important.
Okay, here we go.
Ife Afa, congratulations, Baba. Thank you. I'm so happy and grateful for your knowledge and teachings. Thank you. You humble me, sincerely. Thank Orula, and these wonderful books and these wonderful people.
All right, here we go.
Yanda, anything about Obara Otura for a male initiate of Yemaya? Okay, so Obara Otura is also known as Obara Cuchillo. And that Odu was where Ogun went to war with the watermelon. Obviously, this is an offering that's shared between Ogun and Yemaya. Now, the watermelon had really bad character and would start wars with Ogun, and Ogun lost his patience one day and stabbed the watermelon until he bled out. That's why it's known as Obara Cuchillo, or Obara Cuchillo, even though it does have an African or Yoruba translation as well. For the child of Yemaya, you have to avoid conflict, because even though the watermelon thought he had a very hard exterior, he forgot how soft his internal, self was. So in that sign, you can't be a pop-off. You have to avoid acts of violence, be armed somehow, but do so judiciously. Because in that sign, they stabbed Yemaya. If you want to interpret her as the watermelon, which is her go-to offering.
Okay. All right, here we go. This is from Jovan.
Very nice. Congratulations. Thank you. Can you speak more on the El Camino a Chicuelu and Ogundafun? Okay. What's the song? Baba eruru eruru la yeho, Baba eruru eruru la yeho, Achikwelu eruru la yeho, Baba eruru la yeho, which is basically saying eruru la yeho. We throw ashes on the earth. We throw ashes on the earth. Achikwelu eruru la yeho. Achikwelu throws ashes on the earth. There's ashes on the earth. So in that Odu, there's a story of where Achikwelu was doing witchcraft to everybody with powder. Right? And they went running to Orula to resolve the issue, identify the culprit. Ogunda Fumbo was revealed, where Orumila found Achikwelu and said, hey, you're killing everybody. He's like, yeah, but they don't make offerings to me. And Orula, being smart, rather than going to war with this diabolical guy, said, how about me and you partner up? I'll make sure that whatever is owed to you, you get, and we'll split everything. And Achikwelu was like, perfect. And till this day, Achikwelu really falls within the context of the Babalawos. But I am a fan of, giving Achikwelu not as a singular deity. I prefer Achikwelu to kind of be synonymous with the Orisha Oro. That's pretty much all I could say about that at the moment. But, and Ogundafun was where Achikwelu was killing everybody with the brujeria of the powder. So, it's an Odu where the person has to have a lot of self-control. And make sure they're not doing witchcraft, indiscriminately and unnecessarily. And, and make sure they protect themselves as well, because unfortunately Ogunda Fumbo can be a victim as well, where the powder of the Ebo is always better than the powder of the Ogu or the Abilu or the witchcraft.
Okay.
Love that Odu.
All right, this is from Shannon.
Can you delve into the sign of Ogunda Dio? Interesting Odu. Actually, Fulgencio Batista, the last president of Cuba before the Castro regime, they said that was his Odu in Hand of Ifa. And they say that there was this extremely famous Babalawo known as Ting or Trupon Adakino, who was a son of Oya. I forgot. I think his dad was Oturarinko or Osala Fobeo. It escapes me now. But he was his godfather. Ting was all of the president's godfather, from Prio Socarra all the way to Fulgencio. And he actually told Fulgencio to have a back escape door based on the Pataki I'm going to say now. And because of that back trap escape door, he was able to escape with his life and hundreds of millions of dollars to Spain and Miami. So in Ogunda Dio was where Orumila, based on his initiation, was told to have a front and back door. There's a salacious version of the story. I'm not going to say that one. But basically, Orula didn't know that people were trying to come kill him and rob him, right? So he had this rooster, which can be interpreted as Opa Osung, at his door, and he was in the back of the house. And when the marauders or the bandoleros wanted to come through the door and kill him, the bird screamed out, Ogunda Dio! And Orula knew that was the alarm, and he ran out the back door and was able to save his life. So that Odu says that we need a front door, we need a back door, which most of us usually have. Sometimes what we don't have is Osung at the door. Osung should be at the front door there, kind of facing out, guarding it, because it's going to let you know, God forbid, if something happens. Also be armed and have a security system, which is another interpretation there. But that's Ogunda Dio.
Okay. So, I see.
Much respect. Always, always. Right back at you.
Yeah, this is regarding the comment about being in jail.
Yeah, I'd love to go in, man. I'd love to go in. Because I've had very dear people that have been incarcerated in my life. Some of the guys that raised me, some of the guys I know from where I'm from, gentlemen that now are my godsons. Like, just because we're incarcerated doesn't mean we don't have a spirit and a soul. So I don't know how feasible that's going to be, because politics and whatnot. But, it would do a lot of brothers and sisters justice in there to allow them to express themselves spiritually if we're really trying to rehabilitate and help reassimilate people back to society. So that would be a huge accomplishment. That would be Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Okay, here we go with Queen.
Are there any contradictions if you get crowned first before you get your hand of Ifa that will be known at the hand of
Ifa?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to come out in your sign. I had a situation where the girl wasn't crowned, but they had pulled her guardian angel out with the shell beforehand. And when we gave her hand of Ifa, they had told her she was a daughter of Shango, and she came with the Odu Baba Otura Meji, right? And in that Odu was where the Olorisha lied to the person and Orumila rectified it. So when we actually, because I'm a really respectful guy, I'm an ethical guy, but the person I respect most is Orumila, right? So obviously we rectified it because the shell should not be used to identify a guardian Orisha if you're going to identify it. If you're going to use the shell, you might as well not use the shell at all. Just crown the person whatever you like. But if you are going to ask the question, Osarosun says it should be done with Iking. So when we did that, we asked for Shango first out of respect. We tried. And it gave a very flat out no. And then we asked for Eshu because Eshu was kind of the star of that Pataki, and she came out a daughter of Eshu. And from what I understand, she crowned. So God bless. But it's definitely going to come out because the reason, now mind you, you won't be able to get all of the effects positively from your Orisha ceremony if you don't have Orumila. Because the Orisha process doesn't work at full capacity 100% unless Orumila's shadow is present within that room. So you need Orula. And the Babalaos need to be there as well. So.
Okay. While you take that drink, here we go.
Yanda, thoughts on Obara Otura for a male initiate Yamaya? We went over that one.
Oh, my bad.
Great name, Bukumi.
All right, hey, from Cleveland.
All right, shout out to Cleveland, Ohio.
All right, from Qwerty.
So, what's your take on men being initiated into Ifa that are known to be mounted by spirits of Orisha? If we're speaking about Babalawo, completely taboo. Completely taboo. That'll never happen over here. Just like a couple other characteristics won't be initiated into Ifa either. And it has nothing to do with machismo. It has nothing to do with frustration. It's simply not compatible. And that's really the key word here is compatibility. We're living in a time where everybody wants to be able to do everything, and the reality of life is that's not the case. I'll never dunk a basketball. I'll never run a 10-second 100-yard dash. I'll never give birth to a child myself. I've accepted all of these things, but we have to be very careful how we present things to people because the frustration may cause them to want to retaliate in a way that only hurts themselves. The reason the Babalawo cannot come into trance with Orisha at any point in his life is because once you activate that, being that you were meant to activate it, the other aspects of your brain that we need to function as Babalawo do not. And the Odu of Oshetura was where everybody was mounted and no one could attend to each other. So Rumila sent down Oshetura, Babalawo, to be able to take the mounted Orishas through the process, to be able to come and go from heaven and earth. And, at that point, everything was, fluid. So at that point, Olodumare said, if anybody's going to be Babalawo, they can't come mounted because if everybody's mounted, then who takes care of who? And we're just going to have a repetition. Another thing is, and this is more pertaining to the drum, the reason the majority of Anya houses do not allow people who become mounted to handle the bata drum, which is debatable, but it's a story, just kind of giving comparables, is because if everybody's mounted, who plays the drum? And it seems pretty far-fetched now because is that really feasible? Probably not, but things were established the way they were. So at least in this lineage, no way. And I have heard of it happening. It definitely sullies the reputation of a house, because, it's interesting how we're doing certain things now 100 years after all of our elders are gone. When they were around, we wouldn't have even thought about doing it. And another thing, the ceremony about, getting rid of the muerto or the orisha so they never come again, that's all fake. So that's just an excuse or something to help people's consciences. But once you come down, you were gifted with the characteristic of a legung, which is very, very rare, to actually come down with egung or orisha, and it's something you should be proud of. The same way I'm proud of being a Babalawo, but I'll never come down with orisha, and everybody here is meant for different things. So.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Baba, can your godchildren attend a misa? They can attend a misa in our house until they are crowned. So what I mean by that is you have some people who, want to experiment and they want to, fraternize with their community. This is only natural. We understand that completely. But until you have a certain level of preparation or you have certain credentials, it is unproductive in our opinion, for you to be just going to random misas and random houses that you think you can trust. It's a very different scenario just visiting somebody versus sitting in a circle. So some people listen, some people do not. We've seen the results of both. But it's not something I recommend, because if you haven't even crowned yet, you should be with your godmother or your godfather, attending misas, learning the nuances of how you guys do it, learning about Egungun, so that the day you're allowed to spread your wings, or you don't look back. You know exactly what you're doing, and you represent your house and your elders well. And that's the same in all things. So, but in our house, absolutely.
Okay. Let's see here. Boom.
Baba, if you have the hands of Orula, how do you know if you're protected by the warriors you receive? That's kind of from the beginning. I mean, if you have confidence in the professional that mounted them for you, things aren't, to be frank with you, most of the time after the hand to be fought, things don't go well. Remember that the same way when you receive a surgery, you feel horrible afterwards until you see the results. The hand to be fought is the same thing. If this is spiritual brain surgery, I mean, you're going to have some adverse effects afterwards. So it might feel like they're not protecting you, but remember, they're growing. They're building momentum and whatnot, so you can't become impatient. But they're definitely protecting you, whether you feel it or not.
How you feeling back there?
Oh, I'm fabulous.
You happy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you talking to her?
No.
Oh, I thought you were talking to the button.
I was, actually. So you named it already?
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting a feminine energy from her. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm feeling it. It's a woman. Any
Yeah.
name ideas for the
So y'all, if you guys have any names for the silver button, I guess we're going with the feminine name. So
we're gonna
throw those in the chat, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. This is from Queen.
Fabulous. What does it mean to be an Allah? So the word Allah means owner, or he who covers or presents himself. So you'll see that a lot with like the children of Agayu, like Allah Agayu. Each Orisha has its own like title, like Olo, Badala, Oni Shango, but technically they're all interchangeable, even though they might not sound great. Like I remember one time there was this huge debate, like, no, you can't say Olo Shango. Yes, you can. You don't always have to say Oni Shango. You can say whatever you want. At the end of the day, they all mean the same thing. It's just a matter of how they sound and what's most socially accepted. But if you want to say, like for example, I'm Olo Shango, there's really no way to debate that, because you do own Shango and you're initiated into the priesthood. So be careful with people who focus on the new, like the things that are lowercase, the things that are, like minutia.
Okay. All right. We got...
Oh, gosh. How many people are watching?
85.
Very nice.
All right. Let's go to the screen here. So this is Junior Nenez. They've been a member for 20 months.
Yes, my godson. Blessings,
almost 2
Papi.
years.
Absolutely. Can't wait till you guys get over here, man. My regards to the baby.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Yes, family.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Boom.
Baba, any advice for Oshun male children? Oh, man. Patience, treat women very well, extremely well. Focus, because nothing for nothing, like the people on the yellow team, especially the men, lots of talent, but it's only as good as you focus it. Because I'll be frank with you, before I always wanted to be about Lao, but you kind of are like, am I actually going to make it? So you start trying your hand at 100 different things and going nowhere. Accept your destiny and try to stay away from the street. A lot of people don't realize that the children of Oshun actually have a predisposition towards that. Remember, Oshun was the first, organizer of a Ponzi scheme. She was a murderer. She was not all the flowers and cotton candy that they try to make her look like. So stay away from, anything illicit or illegal. And I think you'll be all right. And crown. For the love of God, crown.
Okay. Ogun B says, why no tattoos after Ifa? Didn't we just talk about that?
Yeah, we talked about it in the live. I've never heard it. I've heard of it, but I don't know why, because Orumila in the Odu of Obeche was about Alao when he tatted the leopard spots on him and life went better afterwards. So, yeah, no, that makes no sense. Get tatted up, in moderation and for healthy reasons. But, yeah, it's your body.
All right.
Oh, man, here we go.
Boom.
At the bottom, Shannon.
Yep.
And you talk about Oshemeji for a child of Elegua. I like Oshemeji a lot. That's the Odu of the wrestler. It's another Odu where it speaks of Eshu being a fighter, where he He was bullied. He fought. He trained. But there's another version here where he fought his whole life, and they wanted him to keep fighting, and he retired. In that Odu, Eshu was a fighter. So it says that the person is going to confront obstacles, constantly be tested. But we have to know when to stop. You know, knowing when to start is important, but knowing when to stop is even more important. So, for example, let's say you've been performing amazingly at a career for 30 years. You have a great retirement. You have investments. You have a family. Maybe you and your partner, you told them you were going to travel the world, but you're like, man, I just want to make more money or keep working. Please stop. You know, you have to know when to stop. And I've heard so many instances and times where people were like, no, 5 more years. And then, you know, God forbid a cancer, God forbid a tragedy. And, you know, we didn't enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? You have to always have the end zone in sight, because if not, you'll spend your whole life working. And that's not life. And that's what Oshemeji says, because it's the Odu that speaks where the person was constantly trying to make money. And, you know, what's that good for if we don't enjoy it?
Yeah. All right, last couple of minutes, guys. We're already about to be approaching an hour already.
My God, get out of here.
Yeah, that was super, super quick. So get your questions in there. Super chats are open if you want your question to go to the top.
Word.
But before we move on, here's the next question.
Oh, Baba, have you ever initiated someone to the Yamio Shoronga? What was it like? We actually don't have that concept. I remember when I did Ifa, I'm in the room with the brothers. You know, I'm beyond quiet. I'm not talking. I'm just listening, trying to soak up what I can. And I'll never forget, there was a Babalawo who had just supposedly initiated somebody or given the Iamio Shoronga icon, which comes in like a red and black and white type of calabash type thing with cloth. And they were really ripping him to shreds. And I'll never forget, I made the mistake. It ended up not being a mistake, but I should have kept my mouth shut. I said, Bawalaos, you can receive the Iami. And I remember they all looked at me and they kind of chuckled. And the guy who was having the conversation said, look, he knows nothing, and he knows that that's like, you know, you got to, you know. So I know I've heard of it in Isheshe happening. I personally now, with maturity and study, I don't know how to respond to that per se. Because part of me is like, how can you encompass an energy like that? That's like somebody receiving Olodumare. And the only reason we can receive Eshu, who's on that level, is because he made it a point to become Orisha and human so that people could give him offerings. The Iami didn't care. They actually didn't want offerings, because if they don't get the offerings, then they can devour us, who is who they really want. So the idea of receiving the icon or initiating into it, really foreign to me. I don't have it done. No one in my house has it done. I personally might not do it because it's one of those things that doesn't convince me. You know, maybe the day after tomorrow when I get more literature or I speak to, you know, coherent people, maybe they'll be able to, you know, drop a seed there, but I don't sincerely see that coming. But no, I've never initiated anybody into it. I'm not initiated into it. I have spoken to brothers that are, but I haven't asked them about the ceremony out of ethics. And to be frank with you, I'm not that interested. So, I mean, it's still an open topic for sure, but I haven't done it.
All right, this is from Tashina Dillard.
Tashina, Baba, any advice for the children of Ogun? Oh, man.
A lot.
Yeah, they're great. Lots of patience. Don't focus on materials or money. Try not to work too much. Try to find serenity within your relationship. I noticed the children of Ogun, they have a lot of like, it's really frustrating for them to find a partner and be with a partner. I think they're used to doing things alone and, you know, focusing on things. I mean, when you look at Ogun and Yemaya's relationship, Yemaya was enamored with Ogun, but all Ogun wanted to do was go to war and make swords. So she's like, I need a husband. So it's really important to make sure you're taking into account what your partner wants as well as you. But Ogun's great. Love him dearly. Have resolved so many things with that guy. And it makes sense why my sign was his best friend in heaven. So, yeah, that's the best advice I can give. Find love and nurture it.
Okay, here we go.
Rick Savage, anything on Agayu besides the basic? Oh, man. I actually just went through like, I guess I'll call it a module. I was actually studying with one of the traditional brothers that I sit down with. And we actually went over Agayu, kind of comparing the Lukumi aspect to the Isheshe aspect. Ironically, he's not that popular in Isheshe either. He's somebody that really doesn't get, you know, conferred upon. A lot of similarities. I mean, what we look at as basic might actually be pretty profound. We're just maybe a little, I don't want to say spoiled, but we have all the information within a hand's reach. So we're like, we need more and more and more. I think Agayu is a little obscure because he was purely Orisha. He really had a life and just became God. He wasn't necessarily like Irumole, from what I've heard, which is still a concept that's blurry, but I get it to a certain degree. But I mean, I guess a good pataki, one that, I've actually been thinking about a lot that I haven't really touched on too much out of respect. I mean, there was one of my favorite reggaeton artists, unfortunately passed away recently, and his name was Taigen, right? And, I don't want to get into the details of it because, God bless his family, the pain, etc. But from what I've heard, his Odu was Irete Lasung, right? Or Irete Hirosung. And, it's an Odu that I'm pretty familiar with. And ironically, it speaks of when Agayu became God. And what occurred is Agayu came down from heaven there. Some people say Osabara as well. It's debatable. And Agayu had an incredible life there. He was corpulent. He was huge. He had magic. He knew of medicine. He was strong. He was a fighter. He was a titan, right? He was tall. He kind of looked like Samson Dauda, the recent, Mr. Olympia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was looking good. And
his name was Samson.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. And that guy, he killed it this year. He won for sure. And, but one day Agayu transitioned, right? And when they buried him, they actually forgot about the grave. Like, they forgot where they buried him. So a couple hundred years later, they find the grave. And when they bring the guy up, he was completely intact. Like, he hadn't decomposed at all. So at that moment, they said this guy must be a god, and they deified him right there. So that's an interesting point about Agayu. He never really decomposed, It's where the canonization of the saints or Orishas first occurred. And the reason I bring it back to this brother that passed away, who I really loved his music, man, he'll live on forever. He ultimately fulfilled the prophecy of his sign where he was deified. And, he really, there's murals of him. There's memorials, we're still talking about him. So it's an interesting counterpoint, even though from what I understood, and this is all hearsay, respect to the family, but he wasn't a son of Agayu, but even with that, he still lived up to, he's never going to be forgotten, that guy. He's just that impactful. So, rest in peace.
All right. Before we got here, we got boop, boop.
Oh, man.
All right. So this is a double because we got two on the screen. But look at Hotlander. What's up, Phil? Yes, I paid just to say that.
Oh, anyway, that's funny.
But yeah, Ogumbi.
Any info on children of Ogun ankle chains? I was actually thinking about this morning. It's so ironic you asked that, brother, because in reality, the ankle chain, it isn't necessary. You can do it, but I personally wouldn't if I was a son of Ogun unless I had the Odu Odiche, because that's really where the anklet first manifested. And believe it or not, the anklet has more to do with the children of Olokun than Ogun, because the first person to wear it was a child of Olokun. Being that Olokun was chained to the bottom of the ocean, it was a way to stabilize their children on Earth. But if you look at the Odu Baba Ogun Nameji, when Ogun first manifested, the only time his ankle was chained was when they chained it to the pot to leave him to die. So, spiritually, everybody has to look at their own Odu, their own spiritual makeup. But it's not a prerequisite either. It's not that you're a son of Ogun and we just put a bunch of, like, I've seen people, God bless them, they'll have like chains on their ankles, and I'm just like, dude, like, I don't know. I don't know. So,
hey, props to Tashina. She just became a member.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right. Hey, so you remember the last time we were live in public? Mm-hmm. We mentioned this IFA virtual class.
Oh, yes.
4-week virtual class, and I just got notified by the boss,
the big homie,
that we have the winners.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Exciting. Can't wait.
I'm going to read the names, and we're going to see Joseph react to the names.
Okay. I'm just going to do one big smile.
Right?
The fake smile that I do, yeah.
But I gotta have the other elevated music for this one. Hold on.
Very nice.
Is this?
Okay. Here we go.
All right, folks. So just a heads up to refresh your memory. The last time we were live, we had some requirements we put on the screen for a 4-week virtual IFA class. And there were some guidelines that we had to do regarding the Botanica Candles and More Google business page, right? So for those winners, all VIP members were automatically added to the raffle. So just want to hold on, let me go to this. So I just wanted to state that. So I have the names here.
Fabulous.
Okay. So if you hear your name call, congratulations.
Very nice.
And then make sure you email Botanica Candles and More at Gmail, so we know that it's you.
Definitely.
All right. We got first Alvin Giles.
All right, Alvin, thank you.
We got Kayla Lattimore,
Congratulations, Kay.
Jennifer Rivera,
Awesome.
Kenya Hutton, which is a guy,
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah.
Arnoldo and Sandra.
Very nice, my godchildren.
We
Bless.
got Nanez. We got Bruni.
Very nice.
We got Naeem Allah.
Okay.
All right. We got Lazadli.
Oh, exciting.
We got Kenneth Cryostome.
Very nice.
We got Anthony Azari.
Good stuff.
We got Joe, just Joe.
Yeah, I can dig that.
All
yeah,
right.
Yeah, shout out to the Joe fraternity. Yeah.
We got Christabel,
Okay.
Joshua,
Okay.
Ogunbi,
Very nice. Can't wait.
Ashley,
All right.
and rounding it out is Trinity.
Real star-studded cast
So-
there. It's going to be interesting because a lot of those people know each other. So it'll be nice. It'll be real interactive. It'll be real class.
Yeah. So Joseph, how does it feel to have that plaque behind you and represent 100,000 subscribers? Do you know how many that is? That's literally if you stood in Dallas, the Cowboys Stadium,
Yeah.
and filled that stadium up with people who know and love and subscribe to you.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Oh man, I don't want to get emotional, but yeah, it's very humbling, man. I tell you, when you think about a number like that, you think, I don't know, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like monumental speeches, right? And I wonder how many Dr. King had, because when you look at a gentleman like that, a messiah, somebody that really worked for the people, you think about how many people were watching him, and if 100,000 is anywhere near his number or possibly eclipsed it, and this is for any influencer, anybody that has a platform, it's really humbling because you look at somebody like that who was able to speak to a group with such fervor that he literally affected the next century after him. We have to understand how much responsibility we have when we get in front of this camera or in front of our public, because we could either, do amazing things and affect people positively in ways that we would have never imagined, or we can really cause a lot of destruction. So we always have to understand it's a responsibility. And as long as we do that, I think we can progress as a society. So, that's really what comes to mind, and just a lot of humility, man, a lot of thankfulness. I mean, somebody such as myself, where I'm from, we really don't get opportunities like this, whether it's where we're from in New York or Miami, even West Orlando, we really, we end up a certain way. So, to be able to sit here and just talk about something positive and represent my family and Orumila in the best way and light possible, does anyone deserve this? I don't know, but, God has been gracious enough to provide it.
Well, I think we should all hold up our glasses right now and give a nice cheers to Joseph. So,
Salud.
we love you, brother.
Love you, bro.
Thank you. Congratulations. And here's to the next 100,000 subscribers.
Might be here quicker than we're ready for.
Yeah. So sign us out, bro.
Guys, love you. Thank you. Big thank you from all of us, my wife, my children, our spiritual home, members, viewers. And until next time, see the light.